Hello, my dears, and welcome to my weekly intention series. This is a new series that I'm so excited to offer. I was thinking about what I could do in those off weeks in between when I have the guests on the show. And I thought it would be fun to offer you a little something from my heart. So this will be every other week. These are audio only. They're just going to be short little episodes, little transmissions is what they feel like, because I don't want them to be planned. I really want these to come naturally from what's on my heart when I record them for you. And in each episode, I'm going to offer you an intention to help direct your focus for the week ahead, both in the kitchen and even perhaps outside of the kitchen. I know you've heard me talk a ton about intention, but really it's the magic sauce out of every spiritual teacher or wise elder I've ever spoken to. The word intention has emerged in our conversation as that magic ticket to filling our lives with more magic, with more grace, with more connection. And so these intentions, I think, are such an easy way to redirect our focus towards how we want to live our life, how we want to be, and how we want to feel. Because we live in a world where distraction is everywhere. We are more distracted than ever before, I think, in the history of humankind. So these kind of tools, this tool of intention to me feels more important than ever. Like I said, each week is just going to be like whatever is on my heart. And right now, what is on my heart? What I heard from my inner voice before I hopped on to record was, I will invite ease. I actually hear this often from my inner voice when I meditate. And it's kind of like, come on, what do you mean? But there's such power in redirecting our attention towards simplicity and ease, even when we go about the complications of our life. Let's bring this into the kitchen. The recipe that we're making doesn't have to change. We don't have to be like, let's make it easy. That's not what I'm saying. Let's just, pull out a frozen dinner. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying let's make it easy. I'm saying I will invite ease. And this means that no matter what we're making, it can be the most complicated 3-tiered cake, or it could be a simple soup. Invite ease into the process. And this is a way of approaching the cooking process, or a way of approaching life. It's a perspective as opposed to putting the focus on the actions. So what happens when I do this with my day, like today, which has been a crazy day? I will invite ease. What I naturally do is I start to breathe. And I think this is one of the most important tools when it comes to ease, is to take time to breathe. Because research shows that deep, intentional breathing helps to balance our nervous system. It helps us to get into that parasympathetic state where our bodies can release tension and we can feel a sense of safety. And it's only in that state that we find ease. If we're in that fight or flight state where we're like literally our bodies are thinking that we're running from a bear in the wild, even if we're just cooking dinner at 6:00 in our kitchens, we cannot find ease because we're wired, we're tense, right? So a little tool to help in this, I will invite ease. And I do this without even thinking about it. And I think a lot of us do, is just to breathe, deep breathing. I will invite ease. How can you approach the meals you're making over the next week with a bit more ease of mind? And so again, this isn't so much about the steps you're doing, but about the approach, the mental approach that you're taking to a recipe. And for me personally, when I do this, when I invite ease, I start to move with a bit more grace. Ease and grace are linked somehow. If you think about a ballerina, his or her motions are so filled with grace and they look so easy. And of course they're not, but that's kind of the approach. Like as I'm moving throughout my kitchen, with that intention of inviting ease, my movements become more direct, a little less complicated. I can let go of the stuff that I don't need, much of which is just in my brain, like the chatter of what happened earlier in the day or what's yet to come, or the stresses of the shoulds or the guilts or the you name it. A simple mind, I will invite ease and then let that ease come out through the body and through the simple motion of seasoning a soup with a pinch of salt or stirring a soup. Can you invite ease into that moment? And can you feel the grace and the elegance that comes with that sense of ease? So, my invitation for you this week is to invite ease. If it feels good, one thing you could do is just jot this out on a Post-it note and stick it on your fridge. And then every time you enter the kitchen, come back to that. I will invite ease. And in fact, perhaps you can even do this outside of the kitchen. What happens when you bring that intention into your day? And not just, once or twice, but maybe for a few days. I will invite ease and just notice if anything changes. All right, my dears. Episode 1, I hope that you enjoy these weekly intentions. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. What is your intention for the week? It doesn't have to be, I will invite ease. I would love to hear from you. You can comment over in Substack. And as always, if you haven't yet subscribed to the newsletter, please do so. And finally, these intentions are the crux behind my new book, Mind, Body, Spirit, Food, where we bring intention into the kitchen as a way to access more ease and joy and presence in this process of feeding ourselves. That book is now available for pre-order wherever books are sold. Pre-orders mean so much. So if you're interested, please order it early. And as always, remember to nourish yourself with intention and love. Until next time.